What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Today I didn't really know what I wanted to record. I started recording a video about Kenny Thunderbird, right? Got about 11 minutes in, and I felt like, you know what? I'm not feeling that right now. My head is in a different place, and I want to talk about something different. And so I sat here for a second, staring at this camera, like, what are we talking about today? And I decided it's kind of based off of last night. Hold on one second. Let me turn this off. I was asked once again whether or not or why I didn't use drugs in prison, and I answered the question. I answered briefly here. No disrespect to anyone, but I saw it as weakness. Having a drug habit in prison, I saw it as weakness. I saw dudes who had a lot of juice bend rules for guys that had the bag, bend rules because they needed to get well. And it was extremely obvious to me, if you control the bag, you can control killers. So this video today, I'm going to talk about the slow death of incarceration. I want to talk about the hopelessness of incarceration, and just give you guys another glimpse through my life experience and my views. Okay. I had got out of YA and got picked up 5 months later, 19 years old. I picked up 5 months later, fought my case, I think it was 16 months in the county jail. Hit the joint in 1994, right? And it was a very violent era back then. You guys that were around know the 90s were basically the killing fields, man. All up and down the state, there was a lot of murders. And gangbanging was probably at its worst in that era. Entering the California Department of Corrections at that time, you knew, like when they put the cuffs on me, when they surrounded the house and task force, raided the pad, I knew when they put the handcuffs on me, I was never going to see the streets again. And I was fine with it. I knew what I had done. Being from Santa Barbara, I was going to be convicted. There was no way I was going to beat the case or get a manslaughter or anything like that in that city, in that county. And I was fine with it. When I was convicted, it was no surprise. It was like, yeah, I knew this was coming, right? I was of that mindset. You fuck around on the streets, you do what you do, and when they catch you, okay, they caught you, and let's do that time. Whatever it is, do it, and don't fucking complain about it. You enter the CDC and you knew you were going to die. Nobody was paroling back then. It wasn't a thought. There was no R on the CDC. That's why I never say, whenever I talk about being incarcerated in California, you never hear me say CDCR. I entered the CDC, I paroled from the CDCR, but that doesn't apply, right? So I always talk about the CDC. Now, back then there was no, let's rehabilitate. There was no incentive. Your only incentive was to do what you got to do to make it through the day. There was no vocations, at least not in the 180s. I remember no vocation. I remember there was like some kind of computer thing where that was like a bomb pay number, but it was hard as fuck to get in there because you had to go behind the wall. It was basically hang out on the yard and wait for your turn to do a pegada, wait for a riot, shit like that, right? But the thing was, I was 20 years old on the yard. And I remember other 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 18-year-olds. All of us youngsters, you know, hey, what's up, homie? We'd kick it with each other. And you see homies that had never done heroin talking about, hey, homies, I want to do some heroin. I want to do some carga. Because a lot of people, unfortunately, think that part of being a pinto, part of being a gangster in the joint is slamming heroin, slamming dope, whatever it is. Unfortunately, there are also those scurvy ass dudes that have zero hustle, nobody looking out for them. And they'll see a youngster come in, and we all know usually the first 3 years, for most people, the first 3 years, the family's gonna look out for them tough. But then times get tough for the family, and they have to start toning down the packages, toning down the money orders and shit, right? But you got them scurvy ass vatos that'll be on the yard and be like, and they're them cold dope fiends with that mouthpiece, right? And they see a youngster just coming in, and they'll, hey, homes, you want to sell up? They're buddy with them, and they get them strung out. They get them hooked. Go talk to the connect. Hey, my Sally's getting a package, homie. Oh, hey, my Sally's going to the store, homie. And the foundation of that, wanting to slam, is not only a need, a belief that, hey, that's what it is to be a gangster, basically a need to want to be accepted and fit in. But it's also I don't want to say self-hate, but the hopelessness. I ain't never getting out anyways. The fuck do I care about? I've had cellies, or close camaradas that had Hep C. I had one of them, my celly. I've talked about him in a couple of videos. My celly B, right? When we were cellies in the Hoyo, I think he had stage 3, maybe stage 4 Hep. The homies would make pisto. They would make wine on the tier. You know, he had pitched in, and you know, other cellies, you know, other cells pitch in, and then one cell will make the batch, and then you know, give everybody their cuts. And B would drink the pisto, and you know, he would sing. He had a good singing voice. He would sing. Other homies, that's what they do. You know, they get buzz, and vatos that can sing will get on the tier, sing a song. Orale, all right, homie, gracias. And B would sing, and then I remember the first time it happened when we were cellies. I was at the door. He was like, hey, Holmes, hey, post up for a minute, because he had to throw up. So I'm at the door, chopping it up with the homies, and he's throwing up. So I look back to make sure he's good. And when I looked back, he looked up at me and he smiled like, fuck, Holmes. And he had blood all over his mouth and all over his chin. I said, hey, homie, you're fucking throwing up blood. He said, nah, Holmes, don't even trip. It's just Kool-Aid. Fucking toilet was full of blood. I knew homies that they would tell me like, damn, Holmes, I'm shitting out so much blood now, man. I think I shit out a piece of my liver, and I'm just like, the fuck go to medical? And he's like, for what? Like, I just get a shot, homie, it'll be all good. You know, these are things you don't see that out here on the streets. You don't see homies talking to each other about this slow death that they're putting themselves through. Because to them, it's like, fuck, if I get sick, at least I don't got to do this fucking 100-year fucking term I got. I'm partying, though. Fuck them. I'm going to burn them. Vatos be like, I'm going to burn them for that time. They think I'm going to be around here 50 years? Shit. Probably be dead in 20. I don't give a fuck. I'm burning them. Fuck them and their time. You see other dudes, they go the other route. They don't want to get high. They don't want to do drugs. They want to put in work. You know, you meet them, and it's a rare breed, eh? And you know, hey, that vato right there got a death wish. He's putting in all that work. He's never going to say it, but you know, he's trying to get the juras to smoke him. You know, these dudes are all that I'm talking about they're all gangsters. They don't see what they're doing as weak, but they've given up. They're hopeless. They're inside those concrete walls. You know, it gets old doing the same thing every day for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. I seen cellies, they would slam and nod out. Sometimes I'd see them and they look pale as fuck or gray. And I would look at them and I would be like, man, that shit don't even look fun. But they weren't doing time when they're on that nod. Me, I would take it in, eh? And I would just be like, damn, Holmes, like, I didn't believe I was ever getting out, but I was like, I damn sure don't want to do my time like that. I didn't want to be shitting my liver out, shitting blood. I didn't want to be throwing up blood and chunks. Who knows what them chunks are? But these dudes would laugh about it. That's the reality, another reality of prison. I remember COs would say it, and you, as a convict, you can feel it. You can feel when you're on a serious yard. Every 180 yard is serious. Every level 4 yard is serious. But you hit them 180 zones, and you could feel in the air. It's almost like an electricity. It's hate. I think it's the hopelessness. There's a fucking smell to prison too. You know how they say that dogs can smell a seizure? They can smell when you're sick. They can smell all that. Humans don't have that ability. But I think that smell of prison, that stink of prison, there's so much hate. There's so much hopelessness that's what you're smelling. Like there's so much of it that it makes it possible for a human to smell it. Imagine that. This video, I don't expect to do nothing today as far as views, but this is one of those videos I have to put out for myself every now and then. Because the people that need to hear this shit are going to hear it. The people that are going through something right now need to hear it. And, you know, like I tell people all the time, everyone has a sad story. Some are just sadder than others. Whatever you're going through, whoever needed this video today, whatever you're going through, you're out here. You can fix it. You can work on it. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take time. But you ain't in there. You can still get a hug from a loved one out here. You can still, if you need to, cry on your loved one's shoulder. You ain't going to get none of that in there. Whatever it is out here, work on it. Get better, but don't go in there. That's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, do me a favor and share. You guys have been sharing my videos more. I appreciate that. Leave a comment. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out.